Hey there, in today's video we are making you're not going to believe this, this is so cool. We are making a art journal that you don't sew, that opens flat. We're pressing it together and just gluing the back and putting a simple cover on. I gotta say, it's shocking. I was so excited that I had to show you guys today. I want to just buy all the paper and make all the art journals now, because I feel like for so long, I was just not sure that I wanted to, sew the bindings, the signatures together and do all that. I finally did that, and I found out it was not as hard as it has to be, because prior to that, I would glue paper, I would do anything to avoid stitching a binding. But this is even cooler. This is just like, pressing them all together and gluing. I won't give it all away, but you need to watch this. You need to make this kind of art journal. Make it make it a sketchbook if you don't want to actually throw a bunch of paint and water and things at it. I'm using watercolor paper, but you can use mixed media paper. You could probably use anything. So without further ado, let's get started. I just finished the cutest little art journal I think I've ever made. Now, and so simple, no sewing, only using glue, some book binding tape, and some watercolor paper. Well, this isn't watercolor paper, but it's kind of mixed media paper. This is watercolor paper, scissors, and a bone folder. Literally, that is all you need to make a cute, adorable little sketchbook that opens flat. I use random papers, so you'll see some things in here, because I just wanted to experiment and see, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna grab this mixed media paper and just cut it to size and see what happens. Then on top of it, I just put some of my abstract mixed media collage paper just for a final touch on a little piece of cardboard. So just to make it, kind of cute. So anyway, it's just like, look at this. This is like a, professional. I'm just so excited. I just wanted to show you guys. And there's all kinds of YouTube videos now that I've seen, people making this. And so I would have never occurred to me that this is something that would be very simple to make. So I'm going to walk you guys through the steps to make your own. And you can use any size paper, obviously, because you're going to be gluing the edge. It needs to all be, I don't know if it needs to be all the same size. The only example I've seen is where the paper is all exactly the same size, and then you're going to bind it. Oh, the other thing we need is binder clips, so I will show that as part of the process. I just kind of wanted to show you like the simple supplies you needed. And then you glue it together and then, set it under a stack of books until it dries. Because of the way I work, I'm going to use watercolor paper, and I had some pads that just had extra paper, and I thought, oh, this will be perfect. This will be a great way to show you exactly step by step how to do it. And depending on what media you use, I would, and I also don't typically work this small, but I thought, just for the sake of example, when I was making it, I was like, I got to make something small so I can see if it even works or not. Because it seemed too good to be true, to be quite honest. I was like, there's no way. And sure enough, there is. It is super easy. So I hope you definitely will give it a try. I have a stack of 9 by 12 inch watercolor paper. Now, depending on how thick and how many pages you want, I think you can do it as big or as little as you want. The examples that I saw were definitely, some were thicker, some were thinner, so just use what you have. Basically, this is 9 by 12. It's going to end up being 6 by 9, and I'm just going to use my bone folder to get a nice tight crease. So the key is, this is the part that's going to be glued together. The pages are going to be glued together, so you're going to want those to have a nice tight crease. You wouldn't have to use a bone folder. Obviously, you could use your fingernail if you wanted, or a credit card. So I'm going to do that to all my papers, and then they are going to make a stack like that. Now, one thing I will mention, because with watercolor paper, there is often, depending on the kind you have, usually there's a side that is more grainy and a side that is smoother. So if you do not want the gutter, which is when these two go together, And they open like this. These will be glued together and it will be one page that you can work across, but there will be a slight seam. You may want to pay attention to which side of the paper, how you're folding it, so that when it opens up, it's the same type of paper, and then the backs are the same type. I don't really care because I think for what I do, acrylic paint is it's gonna work the same. If I was a watercolor I was gonna say watercolor person, watercolor artist, I would maybe be more concerned about it because different types of textures take to watercolor different, and I know watercolor artists work differently. I do use water-soluble materials, but I don't use watercolors in the traditional sense of the word. So just be mindful of that as you're folding your paper. If you're using watercolor paper, that there are different sides to the pages and it may impact how you want to put it together. So I'm gonna fold the rest of my paper and then come back. I've got all my papers folded, and from those books, and you can see one of them has some coloring on it. That doesn't bother me, but the rest of them were plain. I decided to use it anyway. There's 19 pages. The interesting thing is, because I took them from 3 different pads, they all are slightly different in terms of their texture and their weight. But again, I think that's okay, because for my purposes, I'm collaging, I'm doing all kinds of things over the top. I don't need them to all be exactly the same. So you can see there's a little bit of variation. Obviously, even though they all said they were 9 by 12, there was maybe an 1/8 inch difference in some of those. So that's okay. So I have them held tightly together. I have a clip that I'm going to clip together on each end. So to hold it while I do my gluing. Okay. There we go. It's on tight. Okay. Now this is kind of bowing out a little bit in the middle because obviously these clips aren't, I'm not clipping the middle part as well. It's mostly clipping the sides. So I may want to move that as close to the edge as I can. It's pretty close. Okay. So the next thing, what I have is it's PVA glue. It says it's for bookbinding and paper products. It's exactly what I used for the other book. I don't know if you could use other glues. I have no idea. I just was like, when I'm making this, I want to use the right thing because I don't really know. I would assume other glues would work, but again, I wanted to make sure it would work, so I bought this special glue to use. I have an old paintbrush that has kind of a stiff bristle so that I can put the glue on. Paint the glue on. So this actually kind of stands here so you guys can see it. I'm going to put the glue on and then paint it. Okay. So I'm going to try to be pretty generous, and then I'm going to go back over it a few times to, I want everything to be covered really well. And like, I haven't done this a lot of times, so I was extremely not careful, but I wanted the glue to be everywhere because I didn't want to have gone through this whole thing and then have it not work. So hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I have a pretty thick, generous amount. I'm trying to get it in all those little crevices. And again, when you open up, you can sometimes see a little bit of the glue. This is not we don't have a professional here doing it, but it is amazing how well it works. And it's really, you don't need, the stitched ones look really cool, but this is an option if you kind of want that, I don't know, I was going to say expensive, but those expensive kind of lay flat, store-bought art journals, with specific paper in them that you wanted, then this would be for you. I might have put, actually, last time I had to put more glue on. This time maybe I put too much, I don't know. But that's okay. I think it's better to have too much than not enough. because it's just going to dry. So basically, the next step after just kind of looking in the little creases right here, I can see the glue isn't in that little crease very good. You want it to be in all the places really well. And so I'm going to grab a stack of books, lay this down and grab a stack of books, and it'll take about an hour to dry depending on your climate. Last one I did took about an hour, although this glue does look a little thicker than the last time. So I decided to put a piece of deli paper down just in case this at all drips, and I'm going to take the clips off, set it down, and then I have a stack of books I'm going to put on top and then let it sit for an hour. And then we will be back to look at it. So I let it sit for almost 2 hours. I was busy doing some other things. Maybe it just feels a little, it doesn't feel tacky, but it feels, I wouldn't say sticky. I'm trying to think what the word is. Gummy maybe, but it's not, I think it's dry. Like I said, I had put quite a bit of glue on there, but it looks like it's working perfectly fine. Super excited. This is going to be a great size. So the next step, or what I would recommend, is getting some bookbinding tape. This is actually not bookbinding tape, so I don't know what I'm saying, but it is fabric tape, and it works kind of in the same way. So I'm going to just put some on the front side, and then I'm going to wrap it around so it goes to the back side. So I'm going to start on this side and press it in, or press it down, and then cut here, and then pull it. I may have gone a little too, I might have to pull a little bit more. So I don't know if you can see that. It's not going to quite, I made my book a little bit thicker this time than last time. So I'm pulling. I mostly want it to get it over the edge, just to add, okay. So nothing like doing it on camera to have it not work 100%, but okay, maybe I have it, let's pull this just right to the very edge. Maybe I should have put it down the middle. This is fine. It's more, for extra, to kind of hold the spine in place in case you need that. The next thing that I did with the other one, and as you can see, excuse me, it's a little bit bumpy, but not bad. It's great. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is find a cover. Now there's a couple different ways you could do this. You could just use this as your cover. This is a nice heavyweight watercolor paper. Just decorate this. You could have created your cover and then had it, made it part of the book, and that might be a smart way to do it too. But this is how I did it last time. Is I made this book, the art journal parts, and then I went back, put this on, and then made my cover. So I'm gonna go get the pieces for the cover, and I'm gonna show you how I did that. Okay, I have my my little new journal that I just made, and then I have 2 pieces of collage or art that I've made on paper that I kind of like the design. I was trying to decide which one I wanted on the front, and I think I'm gonna put this one on the front and this one on the back. And of course you wouldn't even have to put something on both sides if you didn't want. And I'm gonna use my Yes Paste to put that on. So I will just, and then after I do that, I'll just show you the first one. Obviously gluing is fairly straightforward, and using Yes Paste, I like to use it with a palette knife to make sure I get it spread everywhere. And I like to work on top of a surface where I can go over the edge, because I want to make sure I get it well covered so that it adheres to the book. So I'm going to put this on, obviously the front cover and the back cover, and then I'm going to set it under a stack of books. I probably won't need an hour, but when I'm done, then I will show you And I can see that didn't get right there. So you got to make sure all of it's covered. Right here. I mean, that will be the part where it will, if it doesn't stick on the corners and on the edges, then that's where it's going to, you know, separate, which is not where you want it. If it separated a little bit in the middle, it probably would be okay. Okay, so I'll lift that up and put this on my book. Okay, looks like maybe I cut it a little bit too small, but that is okay. Kind of has a white edge around it anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna set this, do the other one, and then set this under some books for a while, and then I will come back and show you once it's completed. So my new art journal is finished. The front is here and the back. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Here's my little one, which I've kind of already showed you. So basically the pages, now this is like a gutter page. So there is, you know, it's glued together, but the next page will be, you know, the one sheet of paper. So each page, and obviously this was the one that had coloring on it. Every other one will have the gutter, but it lays flat. I mean, obviously maybe it would need a clip, but anyway, super happy. This one isn't laying as flat, but there we go. So, you know, obviously open them up, kind of spread them out. And here's another little drawing. Few of them had drawings on them, and I decided just to include them because I don't know maybe my kids when they were younger or something, but anyway, so definitely if you are so inclined, this is a very simple way to make an art journal, a lay flat art journal without sewing, without a lot of difficulty. And then you can use a cover, make your own art. Of course, you could just use a piece of cardboard or any kind of material, heavier material. Although I didn't use super heavy material, but I did attach it to the top piece of paper, which was watercolor paper, which was a little bit heavier. So anyway, I think this is a super fun, and I'm very eager to get started in my 2 new art journals. And I've never worked in this size, this tiny little size. So I'm excited to give this a try. And then this is a size I'm a little more familiar with. Even this is a little small for me, but again, I think this will be great. These are both super fun, and it's fun just to make your own and to be able to do it in a fairly short amount of time, without very little effort and very few supplies. Thanks so much for joining me in this adventure to create a new version of an art journal. Why is it so fun to make these kind of things? I hope that you give this a try. I hope this inspires you to try to, you know, make something like this. I mean, there is 1,000 different ways to make art journals and junk journals and all the different things. So I hope that you will try, if not this one, try another kind, because I think there is something to be said about creating your own journal that you then work in. And hey, I want to let you guys know, if you're interested in more content, diving deeper in certain subjects or topics, or just you want something in between these every other week videos, then click below. You can join membership, or just click and read about what kind of content is available through membership. I would love to have you join us over there. We're just getting started, but there is plenty already. Plenty of videos, plenty of different things for you to join in and discover for yourself. So thank you guys all again for watching, subscribing, and all your kind comments. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you next time.